Mr. Wiggly, I boosted, yo. Hey, step inside, I give thanks and the highest praise. Ground myself to my earth, connect out the space.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Mr. Wiggly Sunday live stream. It's a pleasure to have you all around as always. Loads of people in the chat. One thumbs up from anybody just to make sure my audio is coming out. I am unmuted. I think it's all good. Hopefully you can hear me. Well, I will wait for the first thumbs up because normally I go on for about 3 or 4 minutes until someone tells me there is something wrong, and there's always a little delay in the chat before we get there. I am thumbs up. Thank you, Failed Muso Fanatic and Tollington. Yeah, fresh back from Berlin, which was amazing to do the Super Booth. Not to want to talk about synths for too much, but that was an amazing experience. Wonderful place, loads of really cool stuff going on, and it was just a privilege to meet some of you guys and some of the other streamers and stuff that I've been working with for a while in person, which is brilliant. So thank you very, very much to the Ben Breslins and the Carl Phoenixes and everyone who's popped up and said hello to me whilst I was there. You are very, very welcome. And it was just great to meet everybody. And it's also great to have you around in the chat. There's loads of people already online, which is fantastic. Kent Spong and Inky the Cat are in first. Inky, actually, no, the very, very first person was Piero the Acid Clown. And he's just been doing a 2-hour warm-up, an amazing DJ set, which I posted in the coming up in the chat. If you're not aware of that, go check out Piero the Acid Clown on YouTube. Hopefully I'm preaching to the converted of most of the people here, but it was amazing. And also to Jamie Morden, who's just done a 2-hour stream as well. So he's now starting at 5 o'clock. I really hope he carries on starting at 5 o'clock. Because that's my Sunday evening sorted, and if he starts earlier it means I can actually see much more of it, which is brilliant. There's some weird guy called Ollie Linear in the chat, and probably more from him later. There's a Sasquatch, Morgan Juniper, Homegrown, hello to you sir, Mad Dog Malone, the Manuel K, I think it's a relatively newcomer, which is absolutely wonderful. Piero's in the chat. Tollington's there, just everybody. Paul Artola, hello to you. Lots and lots of the usual suspects, which is absolutely amazing. And hopefully a few new people as well who've dropped by to see our wonderful guest, who is Oliver Gould, who's kind of hard to describe. I would say, well, I just said to Jamie, if he had a job, he's obviously got a job, but I was going to say if he had a job in my head, he would probably be the company morale officer. He is just like a kind of ball of fire and enthusiasm. He does a lot of music, whether that's DJing, whether that's promoting stuff online, running nights, whether that's streaming, whether it's writing and producing his own stuff under various names, Runtings, Bombastic Sounds. He's behind doing work behind FNOOB, which is the techno channel. I think it's really probably best for us to kind of let him introduce himself and talk about it, because there's an awful lot. But the good news is there's always something going on. He's a very interesting and informative and inspirational guy, I would say, which is really, really good. Hello to Failed Muso, Sunriser, Stream Elements, my word. Stream Elements is posting, that's a bot posting in my channel, which is a good thing. Fanatic 12,000, Cresthead, brilliant. So many people. The Mr. Wiggly horn should be in full effect. So Mr. Wiggly horn raises money on behalf of Lula May for Great Ormond Street Hospital. So if you do happen to send in a super chat into the chat, all the money, not just the money that comes to us outside of YouTube, all the money, including the money to YouTube, goes to Great Ormond Street. And it also fires off this crazy looking Mr. Wiggly super chat horn, which looks like that and blows my ears off. Probably, beware Ollie, probably blows yours off too. So that's kind of ready to go. That is a proper kind of car horn system, and it was too loud, so we stuck tissue in the end. And then eventually we covered it with the incinerator, but I've taken that off now because the batteries are getting low. So if you do fancy donating to Great Ormond Street for the quiz, Lula May will be around at about 20-25 minutes to take Oliver through the amazing quiz. Hello, Jimmy Scavenger. I haven't seen you around these parts very recently, so it's lovely to see you. Maudio, who thank you so much for Andrew Brooks saying give us a blow on your horn. That is very, very kind of you. £5 straight into the coppers of Great Ormond Street. A wonderful, wonderful thing. Thank you very, very much. Hello to Richard Hilton, the amazing, wonderful Richard Hilton. What was I going to say? I was going to say, Mal Dio is one of those people who I got a message from literally just as I was in the airport on the way back. I didn't even realise he was at Berlin, and he didn't realise I was either. Also, Starsky Carr, I kept missing him booth to booth, so I finally gave him a ring on the final day, and I woke him up because he'd come back the day before and he was back in England and he was fast asleep, so I missed him as well. But there you go. Right, without further ado, let me say hello to the wonderful, wonderful chap that is Oliver Gould. How are you doing, sir? Here he is. No, he isn't. It's there. Well, you keep on clapping, mate. We're nearly there. If I can just find how to switch off the picture of my super chat hole. There he is. Yay!
There we go.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad.
Good.
Not too
good,
bad at all. Can all hear me out there?
I think they can. You sound pretty loud. For a change, actually. Normally it's like, can you turn the guest up?
Yeah, exactly. Mark Gardner. He's the worst for that one.
How's the intro? There's probably loads more stuff that you actually do. I wasn't quite sure how to introduce you.
We can correct some of that now in a bit. But what I want to do is maybe ruin the magic of the Mr. Wiggly show. Now, please don't. That's exact.
Hold that thought. $9.99 from the amazing Richard Hilton, who is the nicest man in music, and he's been on before. You'll know him through Sonic State. You'll know him as the keyboard player for Chic, who's just the most
for
super.
Chic?
Yep, Richard Hilton. All right, one thing at the moment is the language, because Lou May isn't here yet, but it is a family-friendly show until at least 8 o'clock. So it doesn't matter, but just hold the family, because you never know. You might have a.
I literally failed in the first paragraph. But no, hey, the keyboard player for Chic. Blimey.
Yep. Blimey. And we are very blessed to have him on board. Thank you. And Great Ormond Street will also be very, very happy.
Great.
Thank you.
So we'll go back to that. You see, because I was just about to ask you a question regarding that terrible noise of which blew my ear off the first time, and I should have heeded your warning. And again.
I'm afraid you'll have to hold that.
I'm going to hold that thought again.
Spong.
Wow, 50 quid.
Can you tell me what's wrong? Kent Spong, £50 from the Badger of all things wrong. Kent, you won't have seen some of this. Kent Spong is he is the most amazing synth knowledgeable repair type of guy in the whole world.
Okay.
That's to really not do him justice. He is amazing. Thank you, Kent. And you do this so regularly and so often. You are royalty on this show. We did a while back when he came on the show as a guest. I did try and get a celebrity to talk about Kent, and we really should put it on, because there will be some people watching this that missed it the first time around. So if I just show you, I went to one of those sites where you can get a celebrity ring you up and wish you happy birthday.
Oh yeah.
And I managed to find Chrissy Rock, who's in Benidorm. Do you remember?
Could
Chrissy
you have
Rock?
got one of these?
Hiya, this is a message to Kent. This is Chrissy Rock here, award-winning actress and comedian from TV Benidorm. You wouldn't think so, would you? Just got off the shower, but never mind. So, I hope you're well. I'm here to ask you a big question that's on everyone's lips, okay? Kent Spong can tell me what's wrong. Is that some sort of Da Vinci Code message? It says, good luck with your career in synthesizer repair. I hope that means that. Lots of love. Have a fabulous day. Tra, 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 tra. From Mr. Wiggly and me, Chrissy Rock. Love ya. Bye.
Chrissy Rock. David, sir. Check $4.99. You are a genius. Thank you so much. So much. That's absolutely wonderful of you. Oliver, you were saying.
I'm nearly as lost for words as she is, mate. What's going on? Right, am I right? I don't mean to disparage the rather generous giving that's happening at the moment, but please hold off for 2 minutes so I
can speak.
Right, that noise that keeps happening, that is grating on my soul.
Yes.
Right, I'm going to have to ruin the magic. Right, please don't tell me that you have mic'd that crazy contraption up, or is that a sound effect?
No,
You've
no,
actually mic'd it up.
Yeah, well, it's not even it's coming through this mic, so it's over in the corner just here. This is a real picture, and what you're hearing doesn't even have its own mic. It's that loud that this is coming through here. I think Luna Mate's mic is on next door as well. Honestly,
I don't mean to tell you your job, but can you please mic it up independently and roll some of the top off it, please?
The thing is, now it's been going a bit of time. I haven't got any top left to hear, so it doesn't really bother me. There's nothing left up there above about 6K.
Yeah. Right, okay, you can carry on giving now, by the way.
Oh, no, don't stay there. Oh my word! So, if someone said to you, "What do you do?" What would you say? Hey, Janice in the chat as well. Thank you for coming.
I don't know. I do as many things as I can. The monotony of life got to me a while ago, and I decided to start chasing what I enjoyed doing, and that was music, messing around with DJ equipment and other bits and bobs, and just trying to have fun. So yeah, I do what makes me happy. Luckily.
No, that is amazing. That is truly wonderful.
You can't do what makes you happy and afford a Mercedes E-Class.
No,
so, there's definite down points, but money's never been a thing that I've chased, and happiness has, and yeah, so that's what I do. And mostly for fun. I'm just involved in music as much as I possibly can be, balancing my personal life. Yeah.
And is that more on the DJing or on the making, or about 50-50, do you think?
Well, I mean, I started playing bass guitar, drums. So, it's less, it's just, I don't know, I struggle to categorise anything. It's whatever takes my fancy, to be fair. I mean, recently I just set up my 1210s again, and I've been learning the art of beat juggling, which has been an incredibly frustrating process. But I've been doing that. The basses are always there in the corner of the room to get picked up and have a fiddle on. So, yeah, but the DJing seems to be... Whey!
Thank you, sir. Mad Dog Malone. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Because of Berlin, I didn't put together a current list of everyone who so kindly donated last week. So we'll do a double one. I really apologise about that. I only realised about 10 minutes before we were due to go live that I haven't done it. So I will run the video later of everyone, minus a couple of wonderfully new people. So huge apologies for that a little later on. But thank you. And just in case you're late into the show, all of the money that comes in for Super Chats in the chat in YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, pop over to the YouTubes if you wouldn't mind. That's where most of the people hang out, and you can donate or watch or join in. It's a really good crowd over here. So thank you, Mad Dog. It's very, very much appreciated. Did you get? So you're a bass player fundamentally,
fundamentally, fundamentally, and a bit. But bass is my instrument in essence, which is why I was so blown away by Chic's keyboardist, because obviously listening to Bernard Edwards of Chic is just next level, isn't it? Yeah. I got hold of some stems from Everybody Dance.
Really?
And I got a few people that know a few people, and they got
said
some
that
stems
out loud
from some places. But I got the stems for Everybody Dance, and I listened through Bernard Edwards. I think it was 3 mics, a direct, a room, and an SM58 or something, and just listening to his phrasing and all the little bits and bobs that you miss from the original recordings. It's just mental. It's just mental. So yeah.
When you see a drummer and a bass player in... Oh my word! Neil Wharton, thank you so much. Goodness me, honestly, this is just outrageously brilliant. It's, honestly, £50. I do hope you can afford it. Thank you so much. I'm a bit speechless about this. That's absolutely amazing and wonderful of you to do it. We make up the difference between any donations and the bit that YouTube take out a little percentage of it. So that whole lot will go through. So thank you for that. That's really amazing. Really, really amazing. As of the week before last, we were up to the 3K, I think. I have to look back because I literally haven't been able to look since last time. But thousands of pounds, and it's absolutely wonderful going to such a good cause. So thank you, big hearts and love in the chat, please, for everyone who's donated, including Neil, including Kent, including Rich Hilton, including Mad Dog Malone, including Andrew Brooks, including David Surchek, and I think off the top of my head, I think that's it. I do apologise if I've missed you, but big love, hearts and flowers in the chat, please. That would be lovely. What I was going to say was, if you see a rhythm section, a drummer and a bass player who are just together, almost like telepathic. It's amazing. It's uncanny, isn't it? I'm lucky enough to have played with a couple who obviously they just grown up together, but leagues ahead of my standard. And they're just moving. One of them will nod and it will push. Just incredible to see.
I mean, there was a drummer, Mark Fairclough, that I used to play with consistently. We were very good friends and lived together. We played in a number of bands together. Wow.
I'm sorry.
No, this is good. This is good. I like it.
We've got a brace. Adamski, thank you. I just sent you all the Faith's pocket money. She said she didn't need it. Oh, you're going to make me cry. Adamski, thank you so much. And Faith. Faith. I'm going to do you a special jingle, Faith, for next time with a thank you for that, because that is just so kind of you. It means an awful lot to everybody in the chat, Faith. That is incredible. Thank you. And Ben Breslin, great to meet you too. Thank you very, very much indeed. Great to see you at Super Booth. Can't listen in live as Carl Bedford is forcing me to drink beer. Well, big love to you too. I hope you're having a great time. I presume you're probably still out there. But have a fantastic one. It was really good to meet you in person properly as well, so thank you for that. Ben Breslin is a quite amazing guy with a spectacularly brilliant idea for a new style of mixer. So he was out there drumming up support for that. I don't think I'm going to the details of what, but it is. It's a controllability thing that just makes it really, really clever.
An audio mixer or live?
Yeah. So it's an audio mixer, and but trying to break the door down, because the way he wants to go is through a big manufacturer, so that's why he's been over there talking to all the large boys over there, very positively as well, which is great. But it's always interesting from my perspective to see what it's like if you're a man with a plan and they are a large organisation, it can be really difficult to break the door down. But his idea is spectacular. So whoever signs it up from the big boys, they will look very good for doing so, I think. But
that reminds me as well, your mate that does the synthesizers, link him up with me, because I get so many people. Kent. I get a lot of people asking me to fix their synths, and I won't touch them. So I could pass over some work to him.
Well, we got this jingle that says Kent Spong will tell you what's wrong, or can you tell me what Kent Spong? Can you tell me what's wrong? And now it's got so much now that when people bring a keyboard in and knock on the door, they just like, Kent Spong, can you tell me what's wrong? So it's gone viral. But he's brilliant. If you spent. Some of those synths are like ridiculous prices.
I'd be scared to open one.
Do you know what I mean? He's the boy that will sort. If you spend like 50 grand on a CS80 or something, he's the one that would probably repair it for you. So, So absolutely, that would be great, because you do repair sort of DJ equipment a little bit more, and decks and mixers and that kind of stuff, but not so much on the synths.
No. I do basic repairs on items that I know very well and love. So I mean, a set of 1210s were designed in 1979, so it's very basic circuitry, and I still don't understand every element of it, but I know how they feel. I know how the arms should work. I know how they should spin. So I'm good at stripping them down, cleaning them, checking for faults, and setting them up to a level that I'd be happy with. Which I mean, I can use them above the ability, and I'm not saying I'm better than people, but I put them through their paces a little more than the standard DJ, so I can get them feeling well, basically.
No, did that start as a kind of necessity because yours broke, or how did you get into that as a?
I used to take every piece of equipment I ever owned. I've stripped down, I've looked in it, and I've put it back together.
Oh, cool.
To varying stages of success, I might add.
Right.
But I've had sort of they weren't called analog studios back in the day. They were digital. But up to today's studios, they would be classed as analog now.
Yeah,
so I've had many desk synthesizers, TX7s, Juno 6s, Nord modulars. One of the desks I remember taking apart was something called a Behringer DDX 1632, which was a cost-effective way of having a flying fader mixing desk with SP diff 32 channels in and out,
Wow.
and an analog desk. And basically,
Right.
I got that and took it apart. But the flying faders were belt driven. So when I took that apart, I had 16 chances to.
Yeah, I was gonna...
So that's how it started.
Man.
My interest in electronical equipment, and just wanted to see what was inside and knowing how it worked. So yeah.
Wow.
And then when I hit about 4 or 5 years ago, I decided, well, this is what I love doing. I'm going to surround myself, because I knew people that did that. Surround myself and just learnt it basically, and have been sort of getting heavily frustrated with learning these techniques. And
Wow, that's brilliant. It's
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah,
At
it's
least
great
with that
fun.
kind of kit, it's almost analogous to like an old car that can be repaired.
Yeah,
like the
especially the
point-to-point
Technics.
wiring and that kind of stuff. It's not so much surface mount, and it is really neat.
Yeah.
Like looking at some of the Soma stuff, some of theirs has been really, it's expensive. It's old
Yeah.
point-to-point wiring, so it could be repaired. Whereas,
yeah, of course.
some of the tiny bits and pieces, I don't know.
Well,
surface mount and all that.
I fairly regularly solder surface mount components, resistors,
Really?
resistors,
Wow.
fuses. Yeah, I do a bit of work for a company called SLX, which supply lighting for the Bake Off, and
Okay.
and they're doing the lighting for the what is it? Not the Eurovision, the European Games, or whatever the hell they are.
Oh,
I've got no idea.
yeah. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
so they do all
By the
that.
way, Mad Dog Malone's wife loves your blue eyes.
Oh, that's very nice.
Put you off your stride there.
They're being assisted by a light on the camera I'm using, so they're not using that blue. After the years of pain and torture, they've gone quite grey and washed out. But my teeth also aren't this white, I might add.
It's all a filter.
So
you do get down to that level though. So is that mainly desoldering stuff and then wow, cool.
yeah,
I mean,
so
that's amazing.
there's sort of DMX lighting, DMX controlled lighting, which have tiny components. The Pioneer stuff has got tiny components, sort of 2 mil components. But when it comes to understanding how a board like that works, I'm not that, you know what I mean?
That's fair enough.
I've got
That's
a
fair
friend
enough.
called Michael Shaw that's an incredibly talented electronical engineer that I tend to go to when it needs that sort of level of repair. But yeah, I can solder. I can
Brilliant.
solder at that level. Yeah.
Wow. It looked like you're based in a pretty funky looking place in Bristol, aren't you? I think, or it looked like that. I think I found the page that represented you to repair stuff, and which I haven't come across before.
That company is called the Deck Father, and that company is owned and ran by a friend of mine called Ben, who is involved in Bangface and Wrong Music.
Ah, okay.
So he that's his business, and we're good mates, and we like fixing stuff together. And he stays there all the time. I go in and generally do the 1210s. So any time I get any work come in or people ask me to do anything, it goes through the Deck Father, because he's very good at running those sort of things.
Right.
And so I've got a number of customers I do work for, SLX being one, the Deck Father, and so that is Ben's business.
Unhinged says, "Where's the moustache gone?" I think this is important.
I
at this
can't
stage
grow
to get
it.
this out of the way.
I can't grow it. I'm a 40-year-old child, basically. I've got like 7 chest hairs. As you can see now, I mean, that's a week's growth.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
No, that's
It's terrible.
okay.
But I will grow it soon. But I fear the point at which I can grow a moustache, all the top will be gone. So I'm looking forward to it in essence. Oh, hello, Nora.
It's Lula May.
Oh, Lula May. Sorry, where did I get Nora from?
I don't know.
Oh, it's Nora the Explorer, isn't it?
Dora.
Dora the Explorer. I got it all wrong. Hello,
All right,
Mrs.
that's what I
Wiggly.
said. Mrs. Wiggly is in effect now. I need to switch you both on. Hang on. That one. You're on there. Right, are you there, Mrs. Wiggly? Yes, you are. I'll turn you up a bit. Hold on.
Yeah.
Are you there? You are indeed. Right.
Hi everyone. Hello there, Wally.
How is
Hello.
everybody?
You're right.
Yeah, you?
Not too bad.
Oh, look, it's the Wigglies, says the marvellous Richard Hilton. It is indeed. It's
I feel like part of the family now.
well, you are. Anyone that's come on the show,
I'll be
we call you our
expecting
cousin.
I'll be expecting a invite for Sunday lunch around the Wrigley
Of course.
soon.
As will everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. I'll try and improve my table manners before that invite comes.
Are you ready for the quiz?
Yes.
I'm not sure if I am because it was a little bit last minute. I only just printed them out, so that's yours. They are big.
There's 2 pages.
What?
Yeah, well, that's
I've
the
only got
special.
one.
No, because one of them's Lula May's big question, which is obviously. It was such a rush. Honestly, it was such a rush. Okie dokie. Right, if you're in the chat, you need to be viewing the chat as live chat, not selected chat or best chat or something, so that you'll see all the chats, live chats. Essentially, he's answered my question before I've even answered it. Thank you, Sensien. So you need to be doing that, and obviously there's no prizes or anything like that, but do please try and answer it. No Googling. We try and come up with questions where you can't Google the answer. Sinriser, thank you so much. Can you tell me the name of who sings the intro? Well, that's like the first one. Yes, it's me, but I don't sing it. It's me in the background doing the sounds, and it's a guy called Leonard Ludvigsen, who is on YouTube. I met him through the Deluge group on YouTube, and he is absolutely incredible. And we're trying to put together a proper mix of that tune, because actually, believe me, I sent him a little MP3 of the backing track, and he sent me an MP3 back of that, a one take over the top. And I dug it out a while. I said, this is amazing. So we're going to put it out properly and maybe make the stems available on Beatport or something. But yeah, Leonard Ludvigsen. Leonard, Leonard Lud Ludvigsen, Vigson. So yeah, look him up on Facebook. He's an amazing guy. And thank you very, very much for the €10 for Great Ormond Street. That is really, really kind of you. Hold off on the donations just for a little bit, if you wouldn't mind, and we'll see how good Oliver is at this amazing quiz, because most of the questions are pretty simple. I think you should be all right. Okay, is everybody ready? Are you ready, Luna May?
Yeah.
Ready, Mrs. Wiggly? Mm-hmm. Ready, Oliver Gould?
I can't stand quizzes, so no.
What band did I see on Saturday?
What band did Lula May see on Saturday?
Oh, it's Lula May's quiz. Oh, I like that then.
Yes.
I like that quiz, yes.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's no right... Well, there is right answers, but you'd never get them. Berlin. Oh, Berlin. Berlin's a very good idea, but no. It wasn't the Wigglies. Feel free to have a go. Ollie.
Metallica.
Oh, somebody's got it. Adamski's
Oh,
got
Adamski's
it.
got it. It was Little Mix.
Little
Very
Mix,
well
oh,
done.
I love Little Mix.
Not only that, I think it might have been their last one gig. It was the last tour, apparently, before they all go off and have a break. Yeah. And it was. How was it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
It was. What was the best bit?
Everything.
Everything. Wow. Do you know, I didn't see a gig until I was about 14, let alone 10. So, yeah, absolutely. So, Adamski got that. You missed this, but Faith, Adamski's beautiful daughter, gave £10 of her pocket money towards Great Ormond Street.
Oh,
so
that's sweet.
Big thanks from you, if that's all right. And basically, we'll do her a special jingle for next week. I mean, how wonderful is that? So thank you so much. All right, eyes down for the next question.
Where did I sing last Friday?
Luna May went with school to sing last Friday. Any ideas where she went?
I think she sang in the rain.
Ooh. Is Luna May's
She
mic
played
not
in the
coming
rain this
She
week.
played, oh, see? She played, yeah.
Cricket in the rain.
I'm
Bet you
sorry
enjoyed
if you
watching
didn't
her
hear
shoot.
Lula May's mic for a moment there. Let me just make sure it's coming through.
Hello.
Ow! Hang on, don't do that because that hurts. I've done it wrong. 1 second.
Martin Taylor's got it.
Try that.
Hello.
Hopefully. Sorry, I didn't realise that her mic wasn't coming through as loudly as it should do.
Martin Taylor's got it.
Taylor's got it already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two.
And I need to go and get a pen because this one doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Brilliant. Well played, Martin Taylor. There's one here, actually, Mrs. Wiggly.
Oh, Mummy already got one.
Amazing work. Well, that was good. That was part of the Little Voices.
Young Voices.
The Young Voices, which was edited. I didn't do that one. We'll have to put that to one side. I didn't
need
manage
a
to edit it.
pen.
Or you can have my pen. The wonderful Grace Griffin, who is a part of this wonderful group of YouTubers and stuff, a part of this whole process. Hopefully, I'm not sure if she's around at the moment, actually, but she did the sound for Young Voices, where they had. Do you know how many children they had there?
Well, I
Louis?
think
27,000.
27,000
Around like
children.
that.
But I think collectively, I think it's about 150,000.
So 27,000 for one gig. Imagine miking that up if you're Grace Griffin sitting there doing the whole live sound.
Blimey.
Just incredible. And Grace, despite having to do all of these mics, she had about 30 different mixes set up and loads of microphones. She managed to get the conductor to give the school a shout out and Lula May a shout out. So right in the middle of this whole thing, it goes, I'd just like to say a big hello to Lula May and her school. So yes, thank you, Grace, if you're watching, and if you're listening
that was
after
superb.
the event.
Thank you, Grace.
Honestly, it was just incredible. So a quick hallelujah for Grace. What are you doing?
Saying
It's a piece of paper.
There's a piece of paper now. How am I can even get? I can't even
Well, it
focus
can't
in that
see.
far.
Well, there we go.
Does
No.
it say hello?
There we go.
Oh, after all that. Oh, Lula May. Okay, let's line up the next question. Yes, this is a good question. I think we should be all right with this one. Let's see what's going on.
I don't have the answer to that, by the way.
So do
Okay.
I have it.
So I
Oh
can't
no,
give-
no, we're not doing the how many in this picture.
No?
No, we had to push that because I didn't get to Photoshop in time.
All right.
Sharing all this kind of live, it's all good. So next question.
What's the second best type of nugget?
Okay, what is, hang on, I'll get the focus right. What is the second best kind of nugget?
Gold nugget.
Nope.
Oh.
Chicken from Kent Spong is the first best nugget, isn't it?
I disagree heavily.
What would be yours then?
Silver nugget.
No, chicken is close.
It's not really.
It's like an edible thing rather than a chunk of metal.
Oh, those sorts of nuggets. Oh, I see.
Oh, Richard Hilton!
Richard Hilton!
A pork nugget? Sorry, what sort of crazy stuff goes on in the Wiggly household?
Well, we're no
Pork
longer
nugget.
vegetarians.
Lula
Oh,
May.
right, okay. Well, I still am, so I'm currently looking down on you lot heavily.
Believe me, if you tried a pork nugget, you would no longer be a vegetarian.
Do you think
Uh,
it'll bring me back from the dark side, do you?
I think it may bring you there. Yeah, when we were vegetarian, we got to 5 weeks, and then we went to Portugal and we ate meat. But I'm going to go back to vegetarian soon. I think.
Really?
I think so.
I'm not.
I'm about 9 years deep now, I think.
Really?
9 years deep, yeah.
We did 5 weeks. I know Richard Hilton himself actually was a vegetarian for many, many years, and I don't think he is at the moment. But yeah, absolutely. Well, pork nuggets I can highly recommend. I mean, it's the law, obviously. If Lula May says pork nuggets are the best kind of second best.
I'm not going to disagree with her, definitely.
Well, that's good.
Do you use what dip, Lula May? What dipping sauce do you put said pork nuggets into to enhance them? Nothing. God, you must. Mummy must be very good not overcooking them then.
It
No.
comes with like a chili one, but you don't use a
I
chili.
don't like
It
ketchup.
comes with like a mayonnaise kind of.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you don't like ketchup, do you? Which is weird because you used to love ketchup.
No more
Melissa,
ketchup.
my magnificent partner can't stand ketchup either. So I think you're in good company, Lula May. I think you're in
No
good
more
company.
ketchup.
No more
What is a
ketchup.
Bugatti Veyron nugget
a-
from Kent Spong?
It's a car.
Oh, really?
I don't understand the nugget bit.
Bugatti Veyron nugget. Have we got some more questions? Yeah, we do. Okay, let's stand by.
What is below my chair? What is that?
Oh,
Is that a question?
Cable.
Fluff.
No.
Cable.
Ah!
It is a cable. Okay, you're
She's
gonna...
not. I thought she was sat above your like terrible horn thing that keeps going off. Way to keep the kids in line, isn't it? Scare them after death.
There you go. Oh my word.
What was that?
Oh,
It's a patch cable. Oh, it's hot enough here already without crawling around on the floor trying to free up your chair. Right. Are we ready? Stand by in the chat. If you haven't hit that like button yet and you're enjoying this, hey 10 mil, thanks for joining in. And hey V Collins, hello to you. Lovely to have you aboard. Okay, stand by. Are you ready?
yes.
Are you good? Oh, sorry, I probably asked you that. Here we go.
What's the best way to swim?
What is the best way to swim?
Backwards.
No.
No.
Sideways.
No.
Downwards.
No.
Upwards.
No.
Up a waterfall.
No.
On your
Like
back,
a salmon.
Crawl.
No.
Against the tide.
Like a salmon. Don't go with that, but it's closer than the other answers. Floating, underwater. No. Crawl. This is a good
Like
question.
Lula Where?
it?
Oh, wagon!
Waggo, my word!
Like a what? Like a mermaid?
Yeah.
Well done, Waggo.
No, sorry, I would say that a mermaid doesn't swim. I'm gonna have to challenge this. I've got to challenge this, Lula May.
Okay, he's playing the challenge horn.
I've got to challenge this.
What?
Although I'm incredibly unprepared for this, but
Okay,
I'd
you
say
do know that nobody's ever challenged.
really.
You'll be the first one.
Am I the first one? See,
Yeah, this is true. No
I'm losing my
challenges.
words, and I'm sat here in fear about to challenge Lula May. But do fish swim? And if they do, I'm going to retort it.
Fish swim.
Do they swim?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Fish swim.
I can do a poll.
Do fish swim?
Or you could just ask Wagyu to Google it.
I'm gonna get a bit controversial here.
Do fish.
Humans swim, don't they?
Should we say do mermaids swimming? Really? Do
Yeah. Well,
mermaids swim?
my argument on this is fish don't swim, humans swim. It's just the name that we've put to fish. And I'd say it would be wrong to imply that they would use that word if they had the chance.
Oh, right. All right. Well, look. Hang on. Are you going to do what are you doing there,
I'm
Lily?
doing a heart.
Oh, going to do a heart. Fabulous. Fish walk underwater. Fish got to swim. Birds got to fly.
Yeah, Wagyu says
right.
fish do swim.
Ask your community.
No,
Here you go.
I'm going to fall out with everybody.
Poll's gone up. Let me know if you don't see a poll.
Oof.
Yeah, you can fall out with everybody. I think they should swim, really, to be honest.
Swim like
But,
this.
yeah, exactly. They swim like that. How could you? Yeah.
Wee.
The fish breathe, Lula Bell.
Luna May.
Luna May.
Oh dear, how brilliant. Okay, Lady Aptitudes ruled the challenge out of order. Fish marathon, fish wiggle.
Mermaids do swim.
Fish wiggle.
Rowdy, can anyone see the poll, or have I failed to launch it?
No, I saw the poll.
Okay, cool.
Fish crawl.
We'll see how that
like
goes
that.
then.
Fish wiggle, yeah.
I will refresh. Okay, well, we've got another 3 questions. Got another 3 questions. So let's see how that one goes. We'll come back to that. We'll let everyone kind of ponder that one. Ready?
What did we 3D print last week?
What did we 3D print last week?
Pork nuggets.
But
Fish and chips? No, it's a bit of a vague one, but we did actually do it. House keys, a bear, tie un. Oh, imagine 3D printing tie unwin. That'd be amazing. A dolphin.
Icing the body electric, a 3D printer. Now,
That would be
wouldn't
cool.
it? That would be great,
A
wouldn't it?
robot making robots. That'd be the end, really, wouldn't it? So I'll give you some background. There was a YouTube video about a girl, amazing, very talented girl, who made a doll. And as part of this brief, she didn't make a doll, you know, the 3D printer, she got a doll and she customised it and we made a part.
Wait, I can show her.
Yeah. Do you want to grab it? Do you want to run down?
Okay.
Do you know where it is? It's in.
All right.
It's in the utility room.
All right. Well, I've got some music.
Hey, Dominic.
Yes.
Who made the reggae version or the dub version of that Kraftwerk Das Model?
Oh, that was me as well.
Is that one of yours? I really
Yeah.
like that. Really like that.
Yeah, these are all kind of semi-live jams I've done for different things on YouTube, and then I've
nice.
pulled them out and gone, oh, that works in the background. Inoffensive. They're not the kind of things like, oh, not that again. Do you know what I mean? They just sort of sit.
I really like. That's the thing about Kraftwerk's melodies. They never ever get old. Ever.
Totally. What have we got? I didn't see an Oberheimer laser cannon. I didn't do this, by the way. Doyle's Gucci handbag, a mini Timberwolf, a car for a doll, a sign. A hat? No, but you're very close, Mr. Spong. Oh, Will Joseph has got it.
Oh,
You missed it,
I
Mrs.
missed
Wiggly.
It. No, I missed it. Where is he? Oh.
Wow, those two pieces of music go together terribly.
I'm not a mixer, it must be said. Didn't come with a sync button or anything.
On the remix.
Will Joseph got it, and as if by magic,
What was it?
it was a head.
A head.
A head, and if we can hide this and zoom in on Luna May, she'll show you the head that we made. There.
Wow.
How cool is that?
It's really pretty.
So we managed, this is the first time we've ever 3D printed anything, isn't it? So we managed to get, oh, you have a deep breath. It's a long way down. We took the head off.
You killed it. I wasn't ready for that.
Up with our head.
Oh.
So the idea now is we get some hair. We got to get the skin colour right because the skin's too light, and we make this. What's the doll called?
Coraline.
Coraline. So we're making a Coraline doll,
Does Coraline swim?
like a mermaid. Yeah. Oh, how's the poll doing? Can anyone see the poll?
They're all disagreeing with me, Dominic.
Are they?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. So you've got. Yes, I can see something coming on here. I've got to say yes is 72% currently. So mermaids can swim. No, that's not necessarily says that you're wrong. It just says this popular opinion might suggest that you're
in this exact time frame. It means I'm very wrong. It means I'm 72% wrong.
in a democracy. You might
In a democracy, I'm wrong often.
be.
Is
Pardon?
there a drink?
Is there a drink? Yes. There you go.
Oh, can I run and get a
Of course.
drink?
Yes, of course you can. Good timing. Good timing. Drinking music. What have we got? I don't think I've got some. I've got some thunder and rain.
Slowly, Lily.
Yeah, not too much. Obviously, if there's anyone in the chat wanting to ask questions after the quiz, which is a couple of questions away, Lily's probably going to head off to bed, and we'll talk about music and life and the universe and all that kind of stuff. So get your
I
questions
will not
lined up.
answer where I got my bedclothes from, by the way. These are a carefully guarded secret. I will not
You
tell
can-
anybody, so don't even
You
think
can
about
choose. You can choose to answer whatever you want, but you're probably going to get a few questions about that now. Okay, the next question. This is one of these ones here.
I know. What are you doing? Oh, that.
Oh, that yes.
You were just tapping me.
Oh, sorry. Okay, here we go.
What's in my hand?
What's? Oh, there it is. What is in Luna May's hand?
A pork nugget.
No. Oh no. Good evening, Prometheus. Thank you for joining us. Sasquatch says fish move in their natural environment by flexing and undulating their bodies. It isn't swimming per se.
Ha! Ha! I knew it.
Sasquatch has an enormous brain as well, so...
Or he's good at Googling.
I mean, swimming could be... Anyway, let's come back to the question in hand. What have you got in your hand? calluses, a pick, a 3D printed nugget,
It
dice,
looks red.
skin, daddy's wallet, Oliver's pet tick, tea mixer. Oh yeah.
Hold it, Lily, hold it straight because you can.
Yeah.
Don't let
There
them
you
see
go.
it. That's it. Hold it like that.
A pen, Frank's food, a fish, says Analog Profit, a piece of plastic, a water bottle, a tooth. Weirdly,
It's to do with
weirdly, that's sort of close. It's not a tooth. It's not a synth knob. I'm a synth knob. A match. The future of mankind. It's close. The cap of a pen, a finger of fudge, a marker, a mini OP1. Yep, yours for £27,000. A balloon, floss, toothpick. Ooh, now we're getting there. Floss, toothbrush, toothpick. What else is left?
Oh, you've got one of the members of Little Mix in there.
No, but Lula May was kind
No?
of doing a mime of it almost a minute ago. You got toothbrush, floss. But it's not a tooth. Where is it? I can't remember. We might have to pull out of this one. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Oh, David got it. David search
Oh, just after the bell, David got it. David got it just literally after the bell. Do you want to show them?
Toothpaste.
It's a tiny,
Oh.
tiny weeny toothbrush. A toothpaste, rather. How cool is that? Well, David Surchek, well done. What are you doing, you fool? Don't need a toothpaste.
Really?
We have one more question, which is probably the easiest one of the lot.
Wait.
Not. Are you ready? Okay, last question. Eyes down. Question, but no, that's okay. Go with this one.
What's the best name for a cat except Frank?
And Sammy. What's the best name for a cat except Frank or Sammy, who are our beautiful cats?
I named one of my cats Pol Pot once.
Yeah, okay. That says a lot. Best. Iddy. We'll just call it.
Wait until you
call
hear
it
this one.
Iddy for short. Yeah, I don't know whether anyone is going to get this. I'll run through that some of it. Masad, Mildred, Cat, Inky, Fuzz. Who said Inky? Martin Taylor said Inky. That's one. Steve, James, Catzilla. Annoying, says Azzy O'Head. Felix, that's a nice one from Will Joseph. Sprinkle, Monty. Janice is a thoughtful one. Hitler, that's nice. Adamski, Aces, Prince. Tom, Mr. Wiggle.
A friend of mine, the singer from Chaos UK, named his hamster Death Machine, which I thought was quite... It was a little Russian dwarf. And that's got absolutely no connection to what's happening
No,
currently in
exactly.
the world.
Of
That
course.
was just...
Just a coincidence, right?
Well, it was 12 years ago, and that hamster no longer lives.
Oh dear. Do you want to give the game away?
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna give it? Honestly, to be fair,
I don't think anyone's.
I don't think anyone is going to get this one. Hold on, let me get rid of that comment. There you go.
Milk toast.
Milk
Milk
toast.
toast!
Milk toast.
Milk toast! What?
Some of you got quite close.
No, we didn't.
Milk toast.
Oh right. So back in.
Sorry. Right, Luna, did you name the cat Milk Toast?
You have a cat in Minecraft called Milk Toast, haven't you?
You do.
So, I mean,
And
yeah,
please,
and you-
please explain to me your inspiration behind that wonderful name.
It looks like milk.
And tastes like toast.
You
can't eat a cat.
Oh, you eat fish swim, you can eat a cat. This is the weird world we're living in at the moment.
Whoa.
Great name. I really enjoyed that quiz. That was amazing.
Well, thank you so much. You
The
were
best
really
quiz
good
I've
as
ever
well.
done.
There's one more.
There is one more, but it's a serious question, isn't it? So what you have to do, first of all, before we do anything, is we
Don't eat the paper.
don't eat the paper.
Well, it's
We
no
have,
different than
Tastes
pork
yummy.
nuggets, is it really?
we have to get
Tastes
back into
good.
the real
Paper
world.
tastes yummy.
Get back in the real world. Day, you eat paper every day. All right, this is a
I do.
all right, this is a big question. Lula May's big question, and it's a sensible one. All right.
What are the most important things in life?
Oh. That's a very good question. I'd say it was rather subjective to be a question, to be fair, but I'm
Yep.
not gonna challenge Lula again. I learned from that mistake. Richard Hilton, pork nuggets.
Any thoughts on the big questions of life? What's important to you? I guess that's what the.
But are we seeing this through the eyes of Dominic and Mrs. Wiggly's wonderful young child?
Oh,
or are
no,
we
if you were
seeing
to
this-
if you were to advise Lula May, as a grown-up compared to a 10-year-old, what do you find the as a advice to the young at heart?
chase happiness at all costs.
Yeah.
Nothing is good without happiness.
Very good answer.
Huge love and respect in the chat, please, and huge love and respect from us here as well. To the wonderful Ollie, what a sport! Fantastic.
That was
The
great
hopes and
fun.
dreams are really, really good. Thank you so much for that. You were going to send me something actually, or pretend to play just after the quiz. Is there anything that you like particularly?
Do you know, I totally forgot about it.
No, me too. Doesn't
I mean,
matter. If there's
is there any sort of royalty or copyright?
Well,
issues?
we'll get a copyright. We won't make any money off it, which is fine, as long as we don't get a strike, as in they must take the video down.
I tell you what, play something by Piro. Go on, play one of it.
Really?
Yeah, do it.
No, that's not fair. He's been on as well. He's been on.
Yeah, I
Twitter.
know, but he's a good guy, and I
Right, that's
wish him
very
every
kind of you.
chance. So bang on something from him. In fact,
Okay.
why don't you put on the first tune that we did together? Don't Get Caught. Why don't you do that?
Brilliant. That's a really good idea. Okay, so stand by a minute while I just look that up.
But
and
don't
then-
play it with Lula in the room.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
It's
Okay.
adult.
Got it. All right.
time
So
for bed,
that's it. Will be in a second.
It will be for me.
Okay, so that's that ready to go. All right, so should we all say big round of applause, please, for Lula May and the wonderful Mrs. Wiggly? Thank you so much. You were amazing.
Bye-bye, everyone. See you
You
next
were
week.
amazing. You're
Have
going to give
a good
Mummy a
week.
big hug.
Great to meet you both.
No, nice to
Have
meet
a wonderful
you.
week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Hug incoming.
Oh, here we go.
Hug incoming.
That was a rugby tackle.
Ow! Ow!
Ace, thank you so much. All right, so normal service will be renewed in just 1 second.
Oh, no, Lily's got my glasses.
Get the glasses.
It looks funny.
Lily, no, the prescription. No, they will make it.
Oh dear. Stranger danger.
Let's go. Child. Come on.
Hello.
All right, sleep well, my darling, and I'll see you a bit
Right.
later. Let's take
Shut down.
He makes better faces than me. Trade off that.
All right. Oh, dear.
Lily.
This is Wiggly's gone. Okay, bye.
Bye. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, let's see if I can set this up, and we're going to have a listen to this. So this is something you did with Mark. The first thing you did with Mark, right?
This is really the first thing that we did together as a musical collaboration after we started messing about with the whole Piro the Acid Clown idea.
Cool. Okay.
Basically, Mark Mark programmed the parts. I put it together and arranged it and did a very terrible mix of it, and I came up with a storyboard for the video and cut and edited the video basically and directed it.
Okay, let's give it a go. If anyone is not hearing this sound, can you just give us a thumbs down in the chat? Also, just a reminder that this is not safe for work, so if any kids are still on, it's probably time for bed. So that's for you, Adamski, if you're still watching. Thank you for that. Wow, There you go. As Richard Hilton says, that took a turn.
It did.
Let's just pull it back. Yeah, hopefully you heard my warning just as it was going out at the beginning and over the intro that it was NSFW. BG Ollie joined at the right time. Hey, BG Ollie, thanks for coming in. It's like, what the? It's a great track, though. I mean,
Isn't it?
When did that come out?
That was one of the first things we did. It's got to be 5 years old.
Wow.
4 or 5 years old. Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit about the background, because you said when we were playing around with the Piero the Acid Clown thing. So what actually was a history of that?
So my personal history of this, and the reason I thought of that at the moment, because it leads on to a number of subjects I'd like to discuss and talk about.
Sure.
Make aware. I just got out of rehab, and Mark contacted me, and there are two sides to my life. There's pre-rehab me and there's after rehab me. And Mark contacted me and got in touch and said, I've got this concept, I've got all these crazy groove boxes, and I've been doing this, and I want somebody to collaborate with. And this was the post, 5 years ago, as Mark just said. This was the sort of the first thing that we put out as a promotional tool to launch that. And it was based on the idea of Mark's alter ego, the clown, and me as the manager, as it was at the time, where I was the one trying to pull him back in, and he was the one trying to go mental and just ruin his life and self-destruct, which I think is an element to most people who are creative.
Very
they are
much so.
just trying to push They're trying to put. Am I allowed to swear now?
Yeah. Just one more warning to everybody, because this was kids to now. It's now after UK watershed, and some of the topics we will discuss may be triggers or may not be safe for worse. So look away now. But I think they're important too, aren't they? So.
But you can't. I don't think you can highlight what I just said without using the word "fuck it" button, because I think that's incredibly constant in a lot of creative people's lives, and I think people are creative due to that "fuck it" button and struggling with perceiving the world and the way that you are supposed to make it, and the way that you get brought up as a child. So that video was based around that, and in the video halfway through, I'm trying to drag Mark to a club to do his work and do what makes him feel good and gives him purpose, and the clown was attempting to go and do all the things that don't necessarily represent the bad parts in his life, but he preferred to go and lose himself and forget about these things that torment and hurt. And that was that video basically, and it also highlighted the character of the clown, and it was kind of the starting point for definitely what has happened since. And as I said, it's two very distinct parts of my life creatively and involved in music. And without Mark contacting me from rehab, I probably wouldn't be what I'm doing at the moment, and I definitely wouldn't have had the opportunities I've had without that. So it was a very definitive part of me creatively in my lifestyle.
Wow. Okay, so that's 5 years ago. You're in rehab up to that point.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to before that and tell us how that arose?
So, I mean, for a number of reasons, often you get into addiction and you become addicted to substances due to traumas that happen in your childhood. And by no means were my traumas, the worst of the worst, but it's all relative, isn't it? My traumas were down to a number of things that happened, which if you put on a scale of 0 to 10 up to a lot of people, it was probably a 2 or 3, but relatively those traumas were low, but they were the worst things that I'd felt. And then my mother died when I was 22, and that basically enabled a mega fuck it button. And I spent the majority of my 20s and early 30s on heroin every day, and a number of other drugs. And all I had in my life were taking drugs and DJing and doing music, which led for an easy life, you could say in some respects, but quite a painful life. And a lot of bad decisions were made, and a lot of not caring for myself and not understanding a happiness that I maybe could have if my mother hadn't died and I hadn't lost that person in my life. And after that, obviously in sobriety and sort of trying to work out the world, because I lost my 20s, so I kind of saw my 30s as my 20s. I'm 39 at the moment. I'm 40 in a couple of weeks, so I feel like I'm turning 30 again. And 5 years ago when me and Mark did that, I kind of feel like I could have, if I would have done that when I was 25, I would have achieved musically what I wanted to achieve. And if I'd known the things I know now, I would have chased the correct things to chase instead of getting caught up in the whole, I want to make it. I'm not, what's the point in doing it unless I make it? You know, that really destructive thought process which ruins a lot of people, basically. So yeah, that's kind of the history there. And there's not really much to talk about from there because I wasn't living for music. I wasn't living for what I loved. I was just every day trying to cover up the pain and trying not withdraw from heroin.
Yeah, you were clearly functioning, you know. I mean, you're not the kind of like everything had fallen apart. You were even if it's going out DJing or working and you're a mess, you're still functioning as a person, you know.
I was never out there stealing. I was never out there robbing people. And if I couldn't afford the heroin I needed, I'd just be sick. You know, which separated me from a lot of people because I had music. And a lot of people, which is really sad, and where I'm very lucky, and I think a lot of us are lucky that have music, we have a hobby and we have something to turn to. Whereas a lot of these people that get caught up in addiction, they don't know where they are, they don't know who they are. And I always knew I was a musician and I was a creative person first. So I was lucky enough to have the strength and turn on the studio, pick up a bass guitar when I was starting to withdraw from heroin, and when I felt pain I could go to that. And a lot of these addicts and a lot of the people that are homeless and they're out robbing people to you know, and even to the other extent, I'm not saying they're the worst, but I'm just highlighting heroin and its direct associations in this world are people doing that. You know, I was lucky and I had that. And post rehab, being involved with Mark and doing that together was one of the strengths I had to stay away from that drug, because it takes a long time to not think about it every day, and it takes a long time when something goes wrong not to hit that fuck it button. And again, I was lucky enough to have music and have my son to keep me away from that. And I fear without music or my son, I'd probably be dead now, to be fair. So, you know,
what you've done is amazing. And you do sometimes hear it from people saying, well, you know, my childhood wasn't definitely as bad as some, you know, as if it's some excuse for, you know, for doing it. You know, it doesn't matter how big or how small or how deep the trauma is. If it's traumatizing at whatever age, it's going to push you down that road, you know.
Well, I mean, for instance, when I was in rehab, you had to do something called a lifeline. So you had to do from 0 to 12, 12 to 20, and then 20 to where you are. And you sit there in a group and it's very open. And we had to go through that. And some of these people's stories were devastating. And mine was basically going out DJing and taking drugs. And they said, oh, what? Yeah, but you were just like a rock star or something. I said, well, yeah. But, you know, I've been there and seen it, and I definitely wasn't. And, it did make the difference. And it's probably a large reason why I managed to be where I am now. And a lot of those people either ended up doing what they were doing or going back in. I mean, there are only two of us 5 years ago that from that group of 23 people that made it 6 months without using again. So,
man.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I've seen it from the pop star side of it with Boy George and Marilyn. Actually, the two of those guys going through it. Boy George, you know, very high profile, but it brings everyone down to the same level. Maybe they've got the money to indulge and the support group to kind of keep them going, but everyone just drops down to the same level, and a lot of other people back then as well going through it. And I guess, I mean, we went. It was a birthday party very recently, which is why I couldn't do the last show, and there was probably 15 of us, and we're all grown up. You know, there's no drugs, no drink. Everyone's sensible. I don't think anyone this year was drinking anything actually.
No.
And everyone's thankful to be here. And I don't class myself in that. You know, I haven't been addicted like that to anything. So, but pretty much everyone else around that table was, and had come through rehab or hadn't made it. You know, and at least I guess 25-30% of the people that were in that group aren't there anymore. I just think it's amazing that you've come through it, because that thing you said about it's very hard not to just think about it all the time or push that button, because it just takes one one thing, you know, and
Yeah.
it's always
Yeah.
there. And, you know, whilst you may not be thinking about it now or tomorrow or, you know, for a few weeks, it's just that one moment. And that is extraordinary in terms of the toughness you must have and the mental state of mind. So amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But honestly,
It is
I
a
honestly don't know how you do it. You should
Yeah.
be very,
It's-
very proud.
There is no how. You have to. And I can either go back to how I was, hurting my family and hurting everybody I love, or I can be strong and not selfish and not very selfishly have the life I have. And I'm the happiest I've ever been. You know, I'm with the girl of my dreams. I'm doing what I want to do. Creatively, I do what I want to do. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And I've got an amazing group of people around me. So, you know, but the problem is it took a long time to build that and realise that. And not only that, realise I was good enough to deserve it. And there's a lot of creative people out there that don't realise they deserve that. And they don't think that they can have that. And they get caught up with I haven't made it. I haven't, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So negative to people. You know, making it is a perspective, and you know what level of making it do you want? And I'm sure that you're aware. I mean, I know some fairly high profile people, and they don't think they've made it. They never think they've made it. No, they don't.
No. I know exactly.
So negative.
It's mad. And also, some of them, I mean, by any respects, have made it, and then they don't know what to do either.
No.
You know,
No.
and you can't stay at that level forever. You know, very, very few people are able to pivot in any way out of that. And, you know, I used to laugh with some of the bands that were happening, you know, back in the 90s about, oh, look at those old bands going and playing Butlins, you know, or they're off to do a tour of Corfu or something. Oh, we'll never catch us doing it. And they're all there. They're all out there. Yeah, we're still in a band. We're still having fun. We're still, you know. And, you know, it's almost like at some stage you could kind of think about getting a proper job because you're just going backwards, you know, because the money isn't there anymore. The stars aren't there.
Well, it's the ego, isn't it? Can you imagine being on top of the pops for 6 months and then having to get a job in Sainsbury's? You can't do it.
Yeah,
you can't do it. And it's just, and not only that, they get caught up in the concept of making it, and they get caught up with all the bullshit that comes with it, and people coming up to them, and they miss out on the fact that they love music. And I think the Rolling Stones are a highlight of this. The fact that, you know, they're old, they're still on stage, but they still love music, and they're doing it for the music, and they were lucky enough to continue doing that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm lucky enough to continue doing that. And for me, selling out an arena isn't part of it, and it used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you realise it's not, and it's doing a podcast like this, it's starting a show with Mark, it's giving somebody something, it's having a platform, and being strong enough and having the balls to come and talk frankly and openly to people, in the hope that there's somebody in this chat that either has a relative that has had that issue or is going through that issue, and they can see that it is possible, or they can understand the pain that their relative is in, and it might give them a little bit more empathy, because it's hard to be empathetic to someone with that issue, because they're so self-destructive and so hateful.
100%. I mean, if anyone does want to get in touch with Ollie, just pop you know, hit me up under here. You can click the Mr. Wiggly thing, and I can just put you through, you know,
100%.
privately. It's absolutely fine. It's funny because you're saying about the original Piero and you video about the manager, and I mean, management actually has quite a lot to do with some of these things, because
of course,
in some cases, my definition of a good manager, right, would be someone who creates a perfect world and the best world for their artist and does the best deals for them, right? So they're a businessman, they go off and do the right deals. But that creating the world is like, you know, helping them if they're down, stopping them from drugs, protecting them from this kind of thing, supporting them, you know, almost being their father or their mother or whatever, you know. And not many managers do that bit.
Well, the problem is, let's look. So the problem is, if you're managing somebody, you get 10% of their wage, and you need 10 of those people to earn the same wage that they're earning, but you don't get the fame. You see, so they're chasing the money. So
exactly.
If they need to feel like a peer to these famous people, they need to earn the same amount of money. So they need to have 10 of those people. They need to manage 10 of those people, and those people are money orientated. They're generally not empathetic people who care. And I say generally because you can't class all of them as, because I'm sure there's some fabulous.
No, there
and
are,
amazing
but
managers.
there are some really terrible ones that
Yeah.
would actually care the least about their artists. You're right. So I'm thinking, I mean, he's passed now, so it's probably there's no law of libel. But if you look at somebody like Tom Watkins, who was the E17 manager, but he managed brass, he managed all sorts of things. But the band were almost, he would get into situations where he would ask for so much of an advance for the deal that the first album would go, but the second album they couldn't even do it because the advance would be too much, and they just get dropped. But he'd have another act ready to go. But the support network, you'd have seen when E17 imploded that there was no support network.
He didn't care.
He was out
care.
getting press on the back of this complete mess up that was occurring. So that is not good management. You see the same thing time and time again. You saw it with like the Bay City Rollers way back in the 70s. Whereas there are some really good managers around, and you don't hear about them so much because their artists don't tend to be in the news when they're going through the downtimes. It's
but to get to the level that you need to get to when you're a hungry artist that needs to be loved, the fake love that they don't need, you need an arsehole manager. You're not going to get there.
That's it.
And it is a problem with this world, money, unfortunately.
And the strength you need. Well, after you, like you said as well, after you've come off tour for 6 months and you've spent every night going up there being adulation and praise, and then the next day you wake up and then you're in bed at home and there's nothing going on. That drop is massive.
It's mental. You've got to go back to what's perceived as a normal life. But then the record company back then, they needed to earn money from physical music. You're in the studio again. What? You're tired? Oh, here's some of this powder.
Totally.
That'll get you through it.
Totally.
It's horrible. And
so
the problem is, like, the creative people are incredibly insecure, beautiful people. And they get torn into that world, and you look at these stars making all these mistakes and doing all these silly things, but they're tortured people, and they get thrust into this horrible industry, and their creativity gets sapped out of them, and it's vile. And looking back on my 20s, I was chasing that, and it would have destroyed me. I wouldn't have survived. I would not have survived that. And for any young people that are watching this that are chasing that, don't chase the music and go in strong, because it is. I mean, you'll know this firsthand. It's a hard world, and 9 times out of 10 you won't survive it, and it's so sad when you see it happening.
I mean, I wanted to be that. I always wanted to be a pop star, and very quickly I realised I wasn't going to be anywhere near any calibre. If you put Elvis and Madonna or whoever or David Bowie up there, and you put one hit wonders near the bottom. I mean, I'm away. Do you know what I mean? And I do like, if I do something, I do like at least the chance of being able to be quite good at it. And I realised that there was as soon as you come to London and you look at everyone else, and there's another 1,000 people like more talented, more kick-ass, do you know what I mean? More naive and more in your face. Screw that. But I went through a kind of almost like a midlife crisis at the age of 20, thinking, well, I'm not going to be that, am I? But I can still work in music. And then after a couple of years of that, watching what was going on to the people I had a relatively secure job, even though it wasn't secure in the slightest. I was making music, I was a part of the scene, and I didn't have to go up there every night, and didn't have to do those interviews, but I didn't have the adulation. I saw bits of it because I've been in houses in bands where there's girls and guys queuing up outside, screaming and shouting and seeing that, and you realise that it's fake anyway. Do you know what I mean? Well, it would have killed me too, I think, but. I mean, obviously something clicked in your head and you got drawn into the underworld of the drug stuff. I mean, what caused you to decide that it was time for rehab? What made you do that? Because that's a big deal.
You've touched on something that I wanted to speak about anyway, being drawn into it, and especially the rave scene. So the rave scene is full of a lot of tormented people that have been open to taking drugs to solve their issues, and you get the rave scene is a very inclusive scene, and you take ecstasy or you take these drugs which make you feel happy falsely, and you feel included, you feel you have a family, and for a small amount of time you feel you have got that family, and you meet some great people there. But 90% of the people there are there for drugs. They're not there for friendship, they're not there for music, they're not there for this and that, and people get drawn into it. And it's a false economy that ends up destroying people. And I'm not blaming the rave scene for that. But what I am saying is the rave scene in general tricked me into thinking that that was what was going to be good and that was what was fun. And there are a lot of very vulnerable people in that scene. And there are a lot of, I mean, on my Facebook feed in the last 10 years, people I know personally or just from doing these shows or podcasts, a lot of people have died. And these people have been people that have seen the same thing. And it is a really crazy thing. And it's just any chance I get, I'm like, if you're involved in the rave scene, if you're still out raving, you see a sort of person you feel is vulnerable all there using drugs. You know, that crazy one at the after party that's still going mental. Just watch out for them. Because they most likely they'll be the ones that die. They'll be the ones that jump off the roof or do whatever. You know, a close friend of mine did that, and he was in the rave scene, and I didn't notice it at that point. And I was trying to help him, and I was trying to speak to him and try and help him through the issues he had, but I couldn't. And he killed himself, and he killed himself because he was using drugs in a very irresponsible way. And I just beg for people just to look out for those people, because they're never going to ask you. And the ones that do ask you or do threaten to kill themselves, they won't, because they're crying out. But you should still help them in the certain sense. But I'm just saying, look out for those guys, man, because it's And I just wanted to say that. But leading me into rehab, I'd had a son, and I needed to make changes. And my family had been very frank with me, and quite frankly, I was fighting every day just to earn enough money, just to live. And I was fighting, and I'd sort of dropped the heroin a little bit. I was still using it every so often, but I could not get clear of it. And at that point, I needed to make a change. And luckily, I've got a very supportive family, and they put me into rehab. I begged them, and they put me into rehab, and it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And I mean, it's a mad part of my life, and I'm still processing a lot of the stuff that I did as an adult before then. But you know, I know that without my family and without the support and without the constant bullshit I put my family through, I wouldn't be here now. Which is another reason why a lot of these people aren't here now, because they didn't have that.
They didn't have the family and the support around them.
No, they didn't. And they didn't have a supporting family where they could learn what sort of people are going to be good for them, what sort of people are going to be the ones that actually care. And you find that again in the rave scene. These people that haven't been brought up well, or haven't had mums or dads, or neither, and they attach themselves to the really negative people that have got the drugs and are willing to give the drugs out, or they run around doing it for the drugs. And it's, you know, just look out for those people, basically, I think.
So how many years do you think you lost?
I mean, look, I didn't lose any of those years, because without those years I wouldn't be me now. And I fear if I hadn't have gone through that pain, I wouldn't be me now. I wouldn't have the outlook on life I had now. I wouldn't be able to speak frankly about what I've been through. And so I'd never lost any time. It was just a really fucking long, painful shaping of a human being that I am now. And I probably could have done it easy, but I fear that without the drugs holding me back, I would have been money orientated, or I would have been better capable to chase the dreams and the wants that I had back then that were false and totally inaccurate.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting it was all wasted. And in fact, the way you've kind of put it is it was actually not wasted at all, because you've ended up a far better human being, far more insightful about life and the world than you would have had before, which is just incredible.
I wouldn't have been the person that Melissa loves, and I wouldn't have this amazing relationship that I have now. I wouldn't have met the love of my life, because I wouldn't have been this person. So every positive in my life now is because of the idiocy. And, you know, I think I for some reason I came across this, and it was through therapy and going through rehab. But, you know, if more people could just look at the shit that they've been through, and they can see the person they've become because of that shit, you can drop it. You're not holding on to it, and you're moving forward. You're not looking back. You're not stuck in the crap that happened to you. You're moving forward, and you're learning from it, and you're becoming the person you are, and you're embracing the crap and the embarrassment. Then you will find happiness, and you will be there. And do you know what I mean? And I'm an advocate for that, because I shouldn't be this happy now. I shouldn't have what I have now. And if you look at me up to, you know, somebody driving the Merc, or with a great job, or this and that, I don't have much. But if you look at me as a person, and look at what I've got, and look at my ability to just do what I need to do when I want to do it, and do what I want to do, you were, you know, I've got a lot, and I'm one of the richest people in the world, I think, personally.
I think you're amazing. I think you're absolutely amazing. It's so brilliant that you can come on the show as well, because this kind of insight is just incredible. I mean, the love in the chat is goes without saying. There's so much love coming back in chat. If there are any questions that anyone wants to bring up, obviously, please. I mean, you both might want to at me just so that they stick out. But yeah,
anybody that wants to chat, just add me on Facebook, Oliver Gould. Come over, just fucking follow me. Although you will unfollow me pretty quickly because my Facebook's pretty horrible.
But I can vouch for that.
But hit me up a message. Yeah, terrible. In fact, I've got a new scab that I'm just building at the moment. So there's going to be a new run of scab memes coming up soon.
Oh, it is very entertaining. You have a class clown kind of thing about you, and I'm pretty sure there's a few people who've never scratched the surface or realised, you know, that there's so much more underneath that surface, which is, it's fine, but you're a very deep person who...
I show it in the correct places, and most people in this chat will know me from the Peer of the Acid Clown. My job on Peer of the Acid Clown is to be a cunt. That is where it came from. That was my job. I had to make Mark look like a likeable person, and he's not. So I had to be an extra cunt to make Mark likeable. Basically, that's a
hard job,
and look, you'll see in the comments. Look, he's put straight back. Look, there it is. There's the play. But I've got to be that character. And I've got to annoy people because people like it. People like being annoyed. People like to hate. So I'm happy to be that person that's hated because I know inside that's not me. And when people get to know me, they know that's not the case. So I'm sorry that I've ruined any illusions that I am actually a prick, which I can be, of course, like we all can. But I'm actually really not.
It's funny because you said something like, "Oh, is it? Which me do I want?" You know, when I said, "Well, I just want you." You know, it's like this is talk about whatever you want. You know, so we could have talked about music. We could you know, not talked about this at all. I mean, I only was aware of this when you sort of brought it up as well. So we were chatting, and it's like, oh wow. I mean, please do ask away in the chat. From my point of view, there's probably some quite banal sort of questions, but what did it feel like stepping out from the door of rehab when you left?
It was liberating because I'd been stuck in a rehab for 3 months.
3 months. Isn't it quite scary?
Well, I mean, look, you've got the concept of a rehab, and especially the rehab I went into, was you were in therapy 8 hours a day. That was your job. Your job was to sit and fucking listen about all the horrible, crappy things you've done, and admit it, because addiction's based on lies, and admit these lies and embarrass yourself every day. They emotionally, they break you down and build you up. But then on the other hand, they make you realise the reason why you used, and they make you look at the traumas that you'd had and process them. So stepping out of rehab for me was liberating, and it was like, fuck, I don't have to score heroin every day. I don't have to drink a bottle of vodka a day. I don't have to take 20 odd Valium a day. I'm not on antidepressants anymore. I'm not on sleeping tablets anymore. I'm a clear person, and I'm thinking clearly for the first time in my life. So it was one of the most liberating and amazing things. And the first thing I thought was music. I took the first thing I could do when I left rehab was get my MacBook out and make music, because I couldn't have my MacBook for 3 months. They allowed me to take my bass guitar in. So the first thing I did was make music, and since I can remember, since I was 13 when I started smoking weed, it was the closest I felt to music. And the drugs I was on numb your body, they numb your soul, they numb your feelings, and I couldn't feel. And music for me then was about the performance, and I used to use my DJ sets, or when I was playing bass, as a way to get rid of my demons. And I build up every week. I build up all this hate towards myself and this torment, and I'd just expel it when I was playing. And I'd shout and I'd scream and I'd take loads of drugs and I'd get rid of all the nastiness. And it would just blow like 5% of the steam off at the end of the week. And when I left rehab, I felt music again, and I felt feeling and a certain chord progression, or changing a bass down a little bit, over the same melody. You know, those real
Yeah.
beautiful things in music. You know that little change. You know, that little expression that makes everything that nobody else will really hear because they listen to a 3-minute piece. But you've sat there and you've made that tiny bit that probably 2 people notice, and even if you point it out, they won't notice it.
Yeah.
Those
No,
hairs,
I completely understand. Yeah.
those hairs
Where
on
did-
my
where
arm
did that come
went
from?
up again. Yeah, exactly. And they went up again, and it was like, fuck, I've been missing this for a long time. And so coming out of rehab was amazing. It was
Wow.
it was amazing. Yeah, it was crazy. And that's the only way I can express it through music, and it's the only way I can express a lot of things through music.
Wow. Yeah, it's a very, very quick hello to Inky's just arrived in the chat because she's got a birthday stream going on. So
happy birthday,
she's
Inky.
popping in and out. She will normally be our moderator, and she's been so supportive of this channel. So big love to you. Yeah, and it's a good news story because you didn't end up back on it again, and so many people do. Why do you think that is? Not why were you better, but why do you think people fall back? Or maybe it's a question for you why you didn't. But
it's because I had something to do. I get the insane endorphin. Not the same. I get a better endorphin rush from feeling music than I did from the drugs, and I didn't realise that. And I dealt with the issues, which allowed me to feel again. That's why I didn't. It's down to my hobby. And look, if you often when you cocoon yourself with music people, which we all do when you're a music person, generally your friends do music, generally the people you talk to every day do music. But when you're in the office, you're around these people. But when you've got a group of friends that are going out and just watching football, or they don't have something they're obsessed with or passionate about that isn't their loved ones, then these people that don't have loved ones, they don't have a passion, they don't have anything to do. And I had a passion and I had music, and that's what kept me from it. Because if I took it again, music would be stripped from me. Music would be stripped from me, and I'd cause my family, the people I loved, a lot of pain. And that is what stopped me. That's why I didn't go back. But without the rehab and without looking at my issues and understanding myself, I would never be here because I couldn't stay away from it before. Basically,
it's amazing. And did you end up? I mean, obviously, you've presumably quite a few people along the way that you've offended or pissed off, or people that shouldn't be your friends. I mean, do you have to go through a process of kind of renewing friendships or dropping friendships and just completely changed your surround, or are you cool with?
I still look. I never went around stealing. I never. Do you know what I mean? I did.
Right.
I used by myself, so I didn't really piss anybody off. I just severely hurt my family. So I didn't have that apology thing to do, and the friends I've had in school, they're still my friends, and I've got a lot of long-term friends that I've kept around.
That's amazing.
So,
That's brilliant.
yeah,
That's brilliant.
yeah.
I mean, you
But,
just dealt very sort of self-sufficient, I guess, is one way of saying it, isn't it? You had a problem, you were just dealing with it on your own level, and you were making through, and it wasn't really helping. But you were to some degree in control of it, I guess.
Exactly,
It's so weird, isn't it? It didn't control you to the finest level. It's like wow,
No,
just incredible.
It's really. I mean, look, I can only look at it from my point of view, and the problem is being an addict. I understand the process, so it's hard for me to look from the outside in. So getting that view that you've just expressed, I'll never understand that. But all I know is that I manage something that's really hard to manage, and I don't feel like it's any sort of mark or green tick on my personality or who I am. I just feel that selfishly it was a realization, and without the help of my family it would have never happened. So yeah.
Fantastic. Again, any questions? And there aren't actually many questions coming in from the chat, to be honest. They're all just like, wow, this is amazing, fantastic guest, it's brilliant to hear, and just full on admiration for you. So I mean, full marks.
No, thank you. It's not why I'm talking about this, but yeah, it's really nice.
No, but you deserve it. I mean, honestly, it's it could be such a different story. It could be such a different story. And the point is, I'm old. You're still young. You're just about to hit 40. Life begins. Life really does begin. I mean, life begins about 50 these days, but 40 is really young. A very quick hello to Grace. I wasn't sure if you were around earlier, Grace. We gave you a massive thank you for the shout out of Lula May's Young Voices, and it came up as part of the quiz about what she was doing with Young Voices. So thanks once again. You are amazing, and I hope you're fully fit and recovered from COVID fully, and it's all good.
Yeah.
maybe we switch to the future a little bit.
Yes.
Because funnily enough, there's a question from SCAT.
Oh, hello, Aaron.
Probably
How you
actually
doing,
this is the now rather than the future, but it's one step towards the future. So yeah, what's going on now musically or life wise or anything really?
Music is I've had a recent realization. So I was DJing a lot with CDJs, and I didn't have a set at home. I wasn't practicing, and at Christmas I got my 1210 set up, and I started playing vinyl again. And the love for DJing and the love for doing that has come back. So at the moment, I'm just DJing techno. Musically, I'm looking for other projects. I'm looking to do some bits and bobs. At Run Things, we're starting a new podcast. We're still doing that. But, you know, I haven't really got a plan. I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm just getting gigs here and there. And I'm just doing what I love. But I'm going to start to formulate something. I'm going to apply the same realization to music production as I did the Technics. I'm a bass player. I need to feel something. The Technics allow me to feel. You know, they're sort of an organic instrument in that sense. And I'm gonna get an old an old Mackie PLZ range mixer. You know, with a really nice overdrive gain. Yeah. So I'm gonna get one of those. I'm gonna get an S3000 sampler. And maybe a synth, maybe the Nord modular. I always love that synth. And I'm just going to make some sort of external to the computer, but driven by the computer music, basically.
Nice.
And actually play on a keyboard. I've got a couple of bass hooks that I've got recorded into the phone that I'm going to start doing something with. When I get that nice mix and when I get that sampler, I'm going to start doing that. But yeah, those are my plans. That's what I'm going to be doing.
See if I can push this up. This is hold on. Let's see. You can talk us through this. Well, hopefully not giving too much away. Let's go back to the beginning. Oh.
So this is the skill I'm learning called beat juggling, if you're not aware of it, and it's essentially using the turntables as an instrument. By using two of the same beat to make rhythms, and I'm not very good at it. I've only been doing it 5 months, but yeah, it's just cool. This is what's brought the love back. This is what's brought the love back.
I mean, that's totally old school as well. Totally old school. I remember seeing some DJs, Ben and Andy, that I used to work with, doing this with not creating the beat like that, but using two of the same records and kind of replaying 16-bar sections, you know, backwards and forwards on old hip-hop stuff. I mean, that's just good, though, man, for 5 months.
It's good. I mean, look, I've been DJing for sort of since I was 16. So, you know, there were a lot of transferable skills I had there. This is by no means somebody that's just had a go on a 1210. I've been scratching for a long time, but I'd never tried this discipline. So yeah, it sounds good, but it's not as good as it sounds in essence. I think I should be practicing a little bit more. But yeah, it's turned them into an instrument. But obviously, so it's also, you know, I like a bit of comedy and I like doing stupid things. And Mark, I went on.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
wait a minute, it's talking about you being a scooter legend. Carry on.
I didn't even recognise my voice. But yeah, you know, like Mark's Clownfest, I just sat there and I doubled up some very terrible music.
I did see that. I did see that. That was good. I got the sneaky impression that you'd actually rehearsed quite a lot for that, and it had kind of gone wrong early in the thing, and so you dropped it more into a comedy respect. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
So there were elements of that. So that section with the Olivia Newton-John and Cliff Richard section of him just going, that was definitely planned. It was supposed to be a little bit smoother, but we didn't have a surface other than Mark's bed to put the turntables on. So a lot of the moves.
Oh, well, that's crazy on a bed, on a wobbly bed.
It was on a mattress. The 1210s were on a mattress. So you've got to be really light anyway. And those old records are really finely cut, and they're an album as well. So the grooves are really close. So it's really hard to get the balance to drop them back and do it.
Now it explains everything. I'm amazed anything came out.
Added on to that, they were on a mattress, so they were. So technically I wasn't able to do as much as I'd planned on the table, but not only that, I'd worn the records out practicing those bits. So the records were not only old second-hand records from charity shops, they'd been worn out, so it's really hard for me to keep that flow going, whereas those two vinyl there are specifically designed deep cut vinyl. So the grooves are really thick, and that beat is on a loop, and that beat is looped to 100 BPM on a 1 to 3,
right,
on a 3 to 4 bar. So basically, it loops every time. So you've got to stretch
let's
like
pop
that.
it back up again because you did. Hang on a second. There you go.
So those are deep cut. So even if it skips back, it'll skip back to the same part of the beat.
Gotcha.
So when I was doing that with Mark's, those are brand new records specially cut for that purpose. When I was going back to Mark, they were second-hand records which were terribly cut initially to save money so they can make more money. So it was an uphill struggle from the start. Added to that, I'd gone for a set, I practiced the set. The set went a lot better when I was at home. But I managed to pull out the elements that I wanted to pull out, and that was basically looping a really annoying part of a Cliff Richard record for as long as I possibly could.
Gotcha. That was amazing. I mean, one thing is that, the decks are the wrong way up, aren't they? So you've got the things at the top. As in, they're the right way for doing what you're doing, if you see what I mean. So you've got the space at the bottom.
What is that? They're not the way around that they were designed by the Technics workshop.
Exactly.
But
That's what I mean.
Look. The amount of technologies we've bastardised. Daft Punk
totally.
Absolutely driving the shit out of a compressor. They used that wrong. That's not how compressors are supposed to be used. But
I mean, I've never DJ'd. I've watched DJs. I've worked with DJs and kind of tried to get into their minds to make music, to translate what they've got in their head into something musical if they're not musical themselves. But there's a massive jump from old school DJing, which is what I would have been watching back in the sort of Tribe Called Quest times. Do you know what I mean? To now, and I just picked up a Pioneer controller. Just because Beardy Man was using it with his set. I thought that's quite interesting. Because now instead of just having treble and bass, it's kind of this real time clever. I can take the hi-hat down in real time off a stereo track. You know what I mean? And so he started using it with his live jams to basically, on one deck you could have a backup if something goes wrong, and on the other deck you can be kind of DJing between two. And to be honest, it's like that sync button is mad, isn't it? It's
amazing.
It's very clever. I mean,
the thing is, right? So this is another thing that really annoys me. So back when DJing was becoming a thing, my old man was going, "Oh, it's not music. They're just DJing. They're just playing other people's music." Because my dad was a bass player. He didn't like it. They're taking my jobs. They're taking my jobs. Do you know what I mean? And then suddenly the sync button came. And computer music. The musicians were like, "Oh, it's not music. They're just using a sequencer." But in my mind, I'm like, the more people that can create music, the more music I'm going to get.
100%.
So it can only be a good thing. And the same with sync buttons. You need using 1210s is a certain skill. You have to have a certain. You have to have rhythm. You have to understand the beats, and you have to be able to know when two beats are clashing. The sync button and the quantize is amazing because you've got people that can read crowds and create pieces of music. Producers, a music producer. There are a lot of music producers that have got absolutely no musical talent at all, but they've got vision. Like Goldie. Goldie can't do a fucking thing. But what Goldie can do is he can see how something's arranged. He knows where it should be. Don't know how to do it himself, but he knows that. So it's opening it up to those people that don't have these skills. And you know, I mean, you'll see me online taking the piss out of people that use CDJs and use sync buttons, but I just do that because I like getting a reaction and it's fun for me.
But it's 100% true. It's 100% true because if you lack of technology or anything like that, or lack of should not be restricting you if you've got something in your head. You know, the number of people who make techno online who've never been to a techno club. Is nothing wrong with that either, but if you're putting stuff out, go and you just go in and see what works. You know, I'm not a DJ because I haven't gone to a club, put a record on and watch everyone walk off and worked out why that didn't work, and then put another one on and watch everyone come back again, you know, and have that vision to see how you can move people's moods and that kind of stuff. You know, it's
a skill. But
if I can work out from you, if you come in and you've got no musical talent, you didn't play bass, you didn't do anything, but you were able to tell me, here's a record that sort of works, but what we need to do is do this with it, and I can translate that as a musician into something, or vice versa. Exactly. That's the key here.
Exactly. And let's face it, look, so there's a lot of people, come to this gig and watch my laptop. It's like, okay, I can understand that, but you shouldn't be at a dance party. You should be watching jazz musicians. play fucking acoustic instruments with no monitoring.
Yeah.
In the 1920s, when let's face it, musicianship was crazy. That's where you should be.
Yeah.
But for me, somebody that loves music and likes seeing people express themselves and likes the idea that the more music out there, the better. The more creativity, the better. And the more, most importantly, the more people out there that can have a hobby and save themselves from the torments and nastiness of life, the fucking better for me.
Yes.
So, boy,
100%.
hey, if you can't play an instrument and all you could do is tap a fucking keyboard or you can draw in on a grid, do it. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Carry on.
Exactly. No barrier
No
at
barrier.
all to any of that stuff. And absolutely. 100%. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I have sat there with Danny Rampling and he's had 3 records and he's gone, I can't really explain what it is about this record that makes it work. It's the kind of...
But those are the great ones. The ones you can't
as
explain.
the session musician, that's my job to try and get that into something here.
Yeah.
And after a while, you get the telepathy. You know what he means because you can spot the common things. But there's no degradation of what Danny did and how amazing a DJ. I wouldn't expect him to be able to make music. He's got a mood and a feel and a whatever that is just insanely brilliant.
Yeah, but technically, Danny Rampling wasn't a good DJ. I don't think.
No, probably not.
No, he wasn't. No, but he knew. He heard something nobody else did, and nobody in that crowd could explain. But he knew it, and he's
And the
provided
feel for it
some of
was
the best.
amazing.
He's provided like
absolutely.
millions of people with some of the best nights of their lives. So fucking
Totally,
go for it.
totally.
Go
Ages ago there was a thing on one of the dance channels. There was the iPhone DJ. This guy that just DJ'd with his iPhone.
Brilliant,
It was
brilliant.
brilliant. And he sat there. He had his two things in, and he was putting tracks on, and it worked. Everyone was like,
Yeah. The only issue with that is the sound quality is terrible. They don't have a decent enough sound card, really. So you're missing a large element of what was put out there. And let's face it, MP3 will strip a lot of the soul from music.
Yeah, quite.
You won't know why. You can't tell if you put them next to each other a good 320 kilohertz MP3, but you can feel it. But still. But you know what I mean?
This is true.
I'm not going to judge. I don't care. Go out and do it, guys. Fuck it. Let's do it.
All right. So, any questions in the chat? Every guy's just they're just soaking this conversation up, which is fantastic.
It's
but if
so
you do
much
have
fun.
anything that you want to find out about, so future. I mean, obviously, you've talked a little bit about the future, about what you're going to get the S3000. You're going to do this. I mean, tell me a little bit about Fanoob first, because it's a techno channel, isn't it? I know nothing about it.
So Fanoob is one of the largest techno radio stations in the world, and I did not start that. I was for a small amount of time. I was the director of Fanoob Music TV. So we did a run, and I streamed a load of stuff. I got a load of DJs down to the Runting studio, and I'm not doing that now because there was a lot of politics behind the scene. It's a massive group of people that have something to say about it, and it just didn't work. And I attempted to carry it on, but it just didn't work. But Fanoob is an amazing place, and I do a monthly show on there. And if you like techno, get on there and listen to it.
It's the one. Okay, well, a few people are saying, so that's how it's pronounced. It's Professor Dick to be Fanoob.
I'm probably saying it wrong. I think it's actually F-Noob. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's like, pronounce it however you want.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's cool. I didn't realise it was so massive. That's because I remember you were laying out programming for that whole thing and everything. That's fantastic. And Runtings. So what's going on with Runtings and what's that all about?
Runtings is an amazing thing. It's ran by somebody called Alex Parker, who started it about 20 years ago. No, probably 15 years ago with a guy called Ed Garrett, and they're a reggae jungle outfit basically. And from doing the streaming and being forced to stream with the clown, I learnt a number of skills which Parker needed because he started live streaming it from his drum and bass channel. And I've known Parker and Ed. I met Ed when I was about 18, so I've known them for a long time. But I got involved with that through the skills that I learnt with Mark, basically. And I'm now part of the Runtings label. Me and myself, Laurie, we built that studio, we designed that studio, and we didn't know anything about it. And yeah, that's brilliant. And Parker's an amazing, giving person who's done loads in the scene. Helps loads of people out. He's got great vision. And during lockdown, we did a couple of streams which had 1,600 people on watching at one time. He had the vision to go and hire out Gloucester Prison, and we did a 4-hour drum and bass stream in Gloucester Prison.
Wow.
Loads of really big drum and bass artists. We did one with Tanks. Do you know what I mean? So
Wow, yeah.
Without Parker's vision and Parker's brand, my lockdown would have probably been quite a horrible place.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm surrounded by all of this positivity, and I'm surrounded.
Well,
by...
a lot of it comes from you, to be honest. I think you exude
I
it, because I kind of alluded to at the beginning. You're the company morale officer, right? It's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, look, but I'm not this positive without the positive people in my life. You can't be, can you?
I guess so.
It's a 360 thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You're thriving off each other, but a lot of it's coming from you, which is great.
At the very base, I'm a good judge of character.
Yeah, that's a cool. Yeah. Good take.
It's like, I got good vibes off you, Dom. The moment you
Thank you.
I went and did the show with Mark, and you were popping up there, and I thought I'd give a little dig to you when we were on the stream, see what happened, and you responded well. And I got good vibes from you, and Mark has nothing but good to say about you.
Well, he's an amazing guy. I mean,
he's
do you know
an
what?
amazing person.
The kind of wider circle of people who watch us, the people who are watching the other streamers that are doing the YouTube, kind of in this circle, the hardware jammers, the Piero stuff, is quite a wide interlinked circle. Golden Shrimp people, and it's becoming big enough now that I think 2 or 3 of the artists are going to flip. Movement 81, I think, are outstanding. But I mean, it's turning into a bit of a movement, which is brilliant.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely brilliant.
When me and Mark started that, we kind of, the URL came from me thinking, right, how the hell do I get people listening to Mark? There's only one way to get people listening to what you're doing, and that is show other people what they're doing.
Yeah.
And review their music. So I think we were one of the first people to do a review show.
You were way ahead of your time. Way ahead of your time. But also, just the vibe of it being a positive thing in general is also.
But it wasn't a positive thing in the beginning. It wasn't. It was me literally saying to myself, how the fuck do I get people looking at Mark? And the only way to get people looking at Mark is by making other people look at them and playing their music. Now, without Mark, that wouldn't have been the wonderful, giving, beautiful place it is. Because I went in there, right, I need to launch Mark, and this is how I'm going to launch Mark.
Right.
And I'm going to exploit people's insecurities and their want for attention, and this is how I'm going to fucking do it. Yeah. Because let's face it, you can put music out there all you want, but nobody will watch it. But if I say to 20 people, hey mate, we're going to play your music on a show, and we're going to talk about it, and we're most likely going to say something good about it, those 20 people are going to watch. And they're going to tell another person. There's 40 people watching. Then they're going to tell their mates, because they're going to start doing. Then you've got 50 people watching.
And there you go. There you go.
But Mark turned it in to a really beautiful, positive place to support people. And I towed the line on that, because I went into it from just as I do.
Fair call, though, because it doesn't exist without either of you. I mean, it's a good balance. It's a very good balance. Just from Rocknets, hey, mate, I've seen you post a couple of questions, because we did cover this one a little bit towards the beginning, but I know there's a lot of people late to the party here. So is music your full-time occupation, or do you have a normal job from someone who has a normal job and makes some money from music?
I service Technics, and I service DJ equipment, and I fix things for my job, and I earn a bit of money from music as well.
But it's
super
cool.
It's not. That's another thing as well. Like the moment you rely on music as your income, it loses the magic, because you're then like, oh shit, I got to make this to make money. Then it becomes a job.
That is key. Yeah. I found that out. I mean, certainly the most successful things I've done musically have been when I haven't had to worry about paying the rent, and I've done it for a laugh. I've gone like, I was going to go on holiday. Actually, I'm going to take a couple of weeks off and write some songs and have a laugh with you. And it really doesn't matter what comes out. And then what comes out is suddenly is like a bit more effortless, a bit happier, Whereas if you're sitting there going, oh, man, I got to get 10 mixes done in 3 days. It sounds like,
And then you have to take a break from your love. And that is horrible.
Yes.
That is horrible.
Yes.
I've done too much of the thing I love now. I've got to stop doing the thing I love for a bit, which would never work. For me personally,
I think it's Richard Hilton. Brilliant. I think it's Richard that was saying if music is no longer your hobby, you need a new hobby or something like exactly that. It breaks when you stop enjoying it.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, do you know what? We've been running for. I think this might be the longest show ever, which is fantastic. But it's been absolutely epic.
Great
Before
fun.
here we go. This is what Richard was saying. When your hobby becomes your vacation, it's time for new hobbies.
Yes,
that's right.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. I'd like to say as well, Sasquatch asked me if I'd pop on his show, and I'd more than happily. So find me on Facebook, Oliver Gould, or get Dom to give you my links and shit, and get in touch, man. Yeah. Pop.
If you absolutely can't find any of us, just pop a comment under here and just at me there, and I always get back to everyone. So that was cool. Anything immediate on the horizon in terms of? Oh no! One more question. Moving Slavo. That's another one of yours.
So
who's that then?
So Moving Slavo. It started Ben, who owns Wrong Music, with another Ben, and is part of Bangface. He was like, "Oh, I want to make donk," and I'll make some donk. And then we just made a bit of donk and just had fun with it. And it got me booked out in Lithuania, and I played it at Bangface a couple of times. I can't play it on vinyl now, so I'm less inclined to make it. And I think my era of making donk is come to a close now. So I've just given the rest of the tunes that are on release to a mate of mine that runs a little label. And that's the end of Moving Slammer, but it was fun when it lasted. Yeah,
it was brilliant. It was hilarious, actually. Yeah. Really, really good.
Well, it was just a joke, wasn't it? Just a joke, and it was good fun.
I've just had a text from my mum saying Bristolian Ollie was fantastic tonight.
Oh, wow.
Well, there you go.
Well, she didn't like my eyes, though.
Well, I haven't read the whole of it. It's just one of them pop-ups. And maybe that was the second sentence.
Let's just hope. He has wonderful eyes. I can sleep well.
Piero says, I thought he said, I love your dog juice. He has them all, which is absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you. I think you should come on again. Maybe do a co-host or just talk about more stuff. I mean, we've gone through so much. Thank you for being so open about the past and stuff. Honestly, it's I think it touched a lot of people in chat, and I'm sure that it will have helped at least one person out there, I think.
Well, hopefully. But it was a pleasure, Dom. It was a real pleasure. And it was nice to just sit here being me for a bit in front of a camera. It doesn't happen too much.
No, it's absolutely fantastic, and it makes it just such a good show. I've always wanted this show to just be about like a bit of a chat down the pub, or do you know what I mean? So thank you.
Yeah,
You've been an absolutely wonderful guest. Thank you to everybody who has donated for Great Ormond Street via Super Chats and stuff.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Just incredible. I mean, it's about £200 raised, which is fantastic. I'll do a proper update. No, it was insane. It was absolutely brilliant. I mean, there were two... just incredible, and I will do a proper update next show with this show's and last show's donations and a complete new total and everything, because I think we are in the top rank. I think rank of Great Ormond Street fundraisers in terms of consistency. So thank you for that support for Lula May. Next week, I'm not sure what's going on, but something exciting will be hopefully we'll see you all again soon. And what can I say? Huge thanks to Ollie. Can I have a big love to Ollie in the chat?
No, thanks. Thanks for having me. You've got a great platform here, Mr. Wiggly.
Thank you. You're very kind. Well, it relies on people like you for that, so thank you. All right, we will see you again next week. Catch you soon. Big love to everyone. Thanks a lot.
Connect so with the herb pipe, link up the harmonized, bless the termite. But beyond obsolete blessings, a birthright. We live a life which a lot warm in us all worldwide. Cosmic love energy, I go herbicide free, organically, me say worthwhile. Watch the way one of you teach termites in terms of definitions and some termites. Get sidecheck the eye. One side is defined by one side the other. I.e. I am an ideas man. I assign too much of the qualities of my guy. Who's way up talking like there's two of me? One is a construct, one is a creativity. The supreme one, all encompassing information in and of itself, most definitely. Another life infinitely, most life infinitely. Beyond the scripture, niceness can be. Blessed be. I continually, Mr. Pick up a being, that's the infinity.